All right, let's go to the Oak Restaurant hotline. Oak Restaurant on the Interstate Drive in Manchester. We're going to talk to Fayetteville head coach Alvin Palmer. Coach Palmer's team, Fayetteville, went down to South Pittsburgh to close out their their first varsity season this year. Coach Palmer, I know this night did not end like you wanted it to, but you really have to be proud of your kids for how well they've played this year.
Very proud. Nobody didn't think that, didn't have any clue that we would make it this far, but we are so proud of our young men. And, of course, we ran into a great football team tonight, but I'm still proud of it.
Coach Alvin Palmer, the head coach for the Fayetteville Tigers. The Fayetteville Tigers make it to the third round, the quarterfinals of the playoffs in their first season. There's not a whole lot of coaches that said that could say that they had a perfect record the first 2 weeks of the playoffs in their head coaching debut, but your team, Coach Palmer, you're not a young guy. Your wisdom imparted. You had a lot of wisdom to impart, and your kids really ate it up this year, didn't they?
They did, and I give credit, to some great coaches that I worked under, Coach John Meadows and Lewis Thompson. Those are some great coaches, and I learned a lot from those men, and I'm passing it on to these coaches, and hopefully, one day we can make it to that final game and bring back that trophy.
Coach, talk a little bit about, when you get 3 rounds deep into the playoffs, a lot of teams get to the playoffs and they get put out in the first round, and one of the big selling points is, we may have lost in the first round, but we've got that extra week of practice, and that's big. Talk a little bit about, not only getting one extra week, but you got a couple of different things. You got to get 3 weeks into the playoffs. That's 3 more weeks of practice. You got to experience some success in the playoffs. So taking a team into its first off season as a varsity program, that's got to be a huge benefit, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's a big benefit, and I hope, that our feeder schools, now, just come on and stay with us. Of course, where I'm at, they have a choice, but I hope that, by our first year of seeing what we can do, that they will decide to stay with us. And that would be a blessing, but at the end of the season with 24 players dressed out, I'm so proud of these men because, believe me, we get in that weight room and we work hard and we do condition.
Talk a little bit about, 24 this year. You're a smaller school, but after 1 year, and like you said, people kind of see what you can do. Where would you like to get those numbers to after this year? You go into next year after this great success. What kind of numbers do you think you can build at a program like Fayetteville High School?
Well, I would love to have at least 40 to 45 young men. That way we can do a lot more things. Of course, we got all our kids that mostly they play both ways, and plus, you got the kicking game. So that's why we have to stay in shape, and we do something different than what other people do, and we condition before practice, and then we practice.
I like that. You kind of, it's like you already get some of that tiredness, some of that mental fatigue in before you really start practicing, and they have to learn under distress, right?
That is correct, and as you can tell, people that watch this, it's helped us.
Coach, you were down at South Pittsburgh tonight, an amazing program. You drive into town, they got the big sign out there that says they got 75 state championships or whatever it is. How many kids did they have on their sideline?
I think they had about close to 40 or so. I'm not for sure.
So, and I guess the crowd was, even though the weather was bad, that they broke down the town and everybody showed up. And it surely had to be a great environment for your kids to take in, right?
It was a great experience for our kids. Great experience.
I'm sure that those are the kind of things that you're going to build on in the future. Everybody that I have spoken to, and I have not had a chance to meet you yet, and I'm going to make it a point to try to come and see you practice either in the spring or next fall, if that's okay, if my fat butt won't be in your way. But I'd love to shake your hand and spend a couple of minutes and pick your brain. And everybody I've talked to talks about how classy a gentleman you are. And I think in our time in interviewing you this season, You truly have shown that to be the case. You've been very gracious, and it means a lot that you would spend some time with us tonight after the season-ending loss.
Well, I appreciate that, but there's one rule that we have there at Fayetteville City, and that is we win with class and we lose with class.
Well, I got a feeling that you're going to do a whole lot more winning with class than you do with losing with class, because I think that the future is bright for the Tigers of Fayetteville High School.
Well, thank you so much.
Coach Palmer, thank you so much, and we will talk to you next season, okay?
All right, thank you. Go Tigers.
There it is. Great interview for Coach Palmer. He is a good one indeed.
Yeah.
I think we are down to 2 games that are not final. We're still waiting on a final. Trinity Christian's way ahead of Mitchell, and they're in the victory formation, and CPA's way ahead of Fairview. So we'll get those final in just a second. You can check out all the scores on our scoreboard, FridayNightThunder.com.